The movement has begun. So tell them, those who hit us and beat us and pushed us to the ground, tell them, those who said we were only good enough in the other room, tell them, those who said we would sink, drown, and the carcass of our careers would be washed ashore by a wave of men, tell them a new wave is here, tell them we are coming, marching forth towards them and conquering everything in our path, tell them to get out of our way before they feel our decades worth metal melting heat. You see,
the FSDH Merchant Bank on Friday, November 19, 2021, held an inaugural event to launch a Women in Business initiative. The initiative was created to build a community of empowered women in Nigeria by providing access for women to grow their wealth and benefit from investment opportunities. The inaugural event, which was themed The Future-Focused Female, centered around the verticals of a woman, that is, our well-being, self-care, finance, business, and career. And in attendance were industry experts to discuss who a future-focused female should be. The MD CEO of the FSDH Bank, Mrs. Bukola Smith, addressed the role women play as entrepreneurs, nation builders, and catalysts for sustainable development, and as such, the FSDH intends to support them through access to mentorship, finance, investment advisory, amongst others.
The FSDH Women in Business initiative is designed to encourage, enable, empower women across Nigeria and indeed Africa. We encourage women to thrive in their chosen areas of business. We recognize the role of women as entrepreneurs, nation builders, catalysts for sustainable development, and intend to support them through access to mentorship, finance, investment advisory, amongst others. The commendable efforts and roles of women have continued to inspire others and impact positively on job and wealth creation, poverty reduction, empowerment, and overall development of our nation, Nigeria. We strongly believe that women, entrepreneurs, have what it takes to compete at the highest level, but without the necessary exposure and other forms of empowerment, it can prove quite difficult to succeed as a woman. I'm sure you all agree with me that women are faced with lots of challenges, but then indeed, we will succeed.
The keynote speaker at the event, Jumoke Adenowo, an architect and a serial entrepreneur, spoke to the theme of the inaugural event. According to her, a future-focused female is best equipped to solve every tsunami. Likewise, does not think Nigeria only, but as a global mindset.
First, we have to look at what are the dangers of not being future-focused. There is no better time than after COVID to look at the dangers of not being future-focused, because COVID came and cut us cuts down. I wouldn't say pants down. I want us to be gender appropriate. And we saw that if you're not future focused, you cannot keep up with the rate of change in the world. We hear that COVID was just the first pandemic. In fact, we even hear that other countries are preparing for a huge pandemic. Satellite images are showing us that they're building huge hospitals. So you're wondering what's going to happen next. We're always the last to know. When we're taking the vaccines is when we know that something had happened to us. So to be future focused, we have to leapfrog in our technology, in our thinking, in our innovation, to make sure that nothing ever catches us that way again. To be future focused, we can't be doing things the way we've been doing it since ages past. In Africa, we blame the environment a lot. Oh, if the environment was different, I'll be different, things will be different, it's because of power, it's because of this, it's because of that. There's some truth in that. But really, it's two things that makes one thrive. We talk about nature and then nurture. So the environment is something, but then the nature is a lot. What we become and what we make of ourselves is also extremely important. They say it is the same sun that melts the wax that hardens the clay. So at the end of the day, it's not just the stimulus, it's the me that I bring into the fight. So we want to be that future-focused woman that no matter how our environments change, we will be capable of dealing with that environment. We see that COVID pushed over 40 million people into extreme poverty in 2020. But at the same time, I have some mentees that were made millionaires because of COVID, because they supply PPE. So you see, it's not about what happened, it's about how prepared I am for what is going to happen. So I like this Women in Business initiative, and I like the goals. We want to prepare women to be future focused. They're also saying we want to prepare a pool of people we can do business with sustainably in the future, because all sticking to old rich men is becoming a red ocean. So we need to make sure. Well, we need a blue ocean of women who are just coming up, and they'll remember us when the time comes. I believe that the future-focused woman is best equipped to surf every tsunami. The tsunamis will come, but we need to be prepared to surf them, to ride each wave, because we don't know what life is going to throw at us again.
As a means to financing the initiative, the CEO of the Development Bank of Nigeria, Bonaventure Okaimo, spoke on DBN's partnership with FSDH Bank. He outlined how women can access and benefit from the 2 billion naira fund provided for women in business.
One thing I want to first of all let you know, there are 41 million MSMEs in Nigeria. It was a survey that was carried out by MBS and some other people. And out of this, all of these 41 million MSMEs, access to finance is the greatest challenge. Less than 5% have access. Now, if MSMEs don't have access, please ask yourself, what percent do women MSME have? I'm sure it's going to be far less than whatever. And I'll tell you that out of the entire disbursement to MSMEs in Nigeria today, DBN has disbursed over 454 billion naira. So it's not just about getting money, it's also about using money well. And that's why we have other people that are doing a whole lot of training and capacity building. So what is our support to women entrepreneurs? So since we started about 4 years ago, we've disbursed about 97 billion to 108,000 women MSMEs. When we talk about access to finance for women, we forget that the average woman in Katsina, she finds it very difficult to even feed our child, talk less of getting money to start a business. So if you look at it, the northwest of all those women, they took only about 2.9%. Northeast, they didn't even get 0.5%. So what are we doing about that? Because we are not in control of the narrative. We are the first wholesale DFI in Nigeria. So we have to give our money to you through FSDH. So how are we doing it? We are trying to then incentivize the bank to go to that area where we feel there's a lot of gap. We have what we call an interest drawback framework, that if FSDH give money to women first, give money to that woman in that region second, and give money to women. If you go back to the slide, the sectors, you find out that a lot of the women, I didn't show the rest, but just to focus on trade and commerce, when you give money to the average woman, the first thing she does is to go to Gary market, right, and start trading. Buying and selling, trading is not going to create any impact. We talked about employ a woman, just one woman, right? One of the panelists mentioned it earlier. But give a woman entrepreneur money, and she's going to employ not just herself, but a whole lot of people. But you give someone who is in trade and commerce money, she's just going to employ herself anyways. Maybe one little girl who is a sales girl.
Panelists at the event talked on the importance of good health, self-care, and total well-being for a future-focused female, providing healthy tips to living intentionally. According to Dr. Ann Roberts, health may not be everything until you do not have it.
The truth of the matter is health truly may not be everything until you don't have it. I've been training medical students, nurses, radiographers, medical lab scientists for close on 20 years. So if you're sitting here and you're breathing, like Jumoke said, I do have a little bit to play with it.
So for me, I'm particular about an annual checkup. When last did you get an annual checkup? Only 5 of us? Oh. No, when last did you get an annual checkup? Okay, who got an annual checkup? Oh, okay. When last did you get one? This year. Good. But to be sincere, when I looked around the hall, we're like a quarter of us. Okay? And I know it's very, you can feel like, why do I need one? Okay? But you need one. You see, when she was talking about how we juggle so much, it's like a driver driving a car. Okay? If the engine knocks, the car can't go. Even if there's a driver, you are the engine of your family, of your home, of everything. And the day you knock out, that's the end. And you know life really moves on. But you can really take care of yourself. So the first thing I want you to do is get medical insurance, all right, for yourself and your kids. Okay? Don't let the word scare you. All the word is saying is just in case anything happens. Which it will. She said it, you see? Yeah? So if it happens and you walk into a hospital designated to your insurance company, they'll take care of you. And you will not pay anything out of pocket. So you're just paying a fraction of money just in case anything happens to you or your children. Because something happens to your children too, you know you can't even take care of yourself. And your husband as well. So as the new year is starting, or even before then, just research some medical insurance companies, okay? They will give you packages, and many of them have this annual checkup plans, okay?
So I just wanted to quickly jump on that question as well. And just to piggyback off what Dr. Alero said is that if you look around this room, there are mothers, sisters, wives. Like she said, we're doing everything for everybody but ourselves. And you just find that one day you hear of somebody who just collapsed. And you're like, why? And I want to go back to her definition of health. And she talked about the absence of disease. We know that the life expectancy of Nigerian women, if you don't know, is 55. 55 years old is the life expectancy of a Nigerian woman. That should tell us something. And so if you think that, you know what, I'm not sick, so I must be healthy, that's not good. Or you say, I'm a certain size. So you find a lot of women who say, oh, I'm a size 10. I must be healthy. That's also very wrong. Because you can find someone who is a size 16, a size 18, and I know that being overweight kind of challenges your health, but you find women who are doing the right thing, eating the right foods, exercising, doing their annual checkups, everything, and they're healthy. But you who are a size 10 and believing that, you know what, everything is fine with me, are in the danger zone. So I just really want to talk about like the red light of nutrition, just real quick, and I'll just use the traffic lights, red, yellow, and green. So green lights foods are foods that you should always be eating. These are the whole foods, the whole grains, the fruits, the vegetables. This is what you should be eating a lot of. The yellow are foods that you can eat, once in a while, occasionally. So these are the dry fruits, the yogurts, the granola bars, the sauces. And then the red lights are foods that you should not be eating. So I want to categorize it as, I don't want to say that they're good foods and bad foods. I want to say that they're foods that have better nutritional value than the rest. So you want to be eating more green than red, right? So what are the red foods? These are the ones that have added sugars, that what we typically call junk, fat, right? So this is the pastries, the sodas, the packaged juices. I hear some people say, I don't eat fruits. I don't eat pineapple because XYZ. But you find them drinking a packaged juice, right? That's worse for you than real fruits. So you want to be eating more of the green and the yellow, and then replacing those. You want to be eating less of the red and replacing them with the green and the yellow.
Speaking on the sustainability of the initiative, the MD CEO of the bank, Mrs. Bukola Smith, had this to say.
When I spoke earlier on, I talked about multi-generational. So it's not about me. It's not even about my current team. It's about the legacies we leave for the future. Interestingly, I'm not even running that aspect of the business. We have another person, a man, that is actually pushing that this segment forward. So it goes beyond just an individual, it's institutional, and to the extent that we see the value it creates, I can assure you that it would live beyond me and the current team that we have. We're constantly looking for value, and if this gives value, the institution would ensure that it continues for many, many more years.
If you listen to my presentation, I made mention of the fact that what we have discovered from the funds we've given out so far is the fact that most of the women that have kind of enjoyed the funding are more from Lagos State. Let me say more from southwest of Nigeria. So, and we're also monitoring and looking at how we can empower the women in some of these communities that don't have access to finance. And that's why we are encouraging our banks, not just encouraging them by talking with them and having engagement session with them, we also actually give them an interest rebate if they give funds to women that are in these localities. We have a list of about 11 states that we call the focus states. So those are the states where we have a whole lot of these grassroots people, women rather. So we try to then make sure that the funding gets down to them. Even when we do capacity building, we are collaborating with some state governments. We've gone to Borno State. We had a lecture session in Borno State, where we also got maybe a list of women that we can then look at training, that can enjoy our capacity building programs. And that will also give them the skill set that enable them access more finance.
I think it's important that we understand that the capital for the business is different from your own money. And as such, you don't want to mix that together. So at the beginning, make sure at least you open an account for the business. The business money is different. You're not spending capital and you think everything is profit. So when you do that, you can bank all the money for your business into your company's bank account. And from there, you can begin to see what kind of profits you are making. And it's also important that at the very start of your business, you are writing down everything, every expense, every sale and all that, so that you can start saying that, am I really making money or profit from this business? It's from there you can start spending the profit, because when you start spending capital, you're going to run out of capital and the business is going to close down. So even what you want to use the money for, say the home front and all that, at the end of the day, you run out of that money. So it's important that you start to plan right from the beginning, keep your records properly. And I believe as you continue to do that, get a lot of training, business advisory, your business will start to scale.
According to a 2016 McKinsey report, women could add as much as $28 trillion to the annual global gross domestic product by 2025. This therefore means that there is need for a deliberate and concerted effort at empowering women globally.